Welcome. Today I'm going to show you 3 easy ways to find your abdominals as a beginner, meaning you don't really know what it feels like to feel your abdominals. I hear that a lot from people saying, what should I do? What is it? So here we are. So first, we want to learn about anatomy. You knowing what does what and where it is going to really help with finding movement, correct movement, good movement, beneficial movement. So we have 3 layers of abdominals. The most superficial layer is called the rectus abdominis, and this is what generally is known as the six-pack. And all it does is it flexes your spine. It also can flex your pelvis. I'll show this from the side. So flexing your spine, this is what is commonly done as a crunch, or flexing your pelvis. 2 components of the rectus abdominis. Two possibilities of the rectus abdominis. Then you have your obliques. They're a little bit below the rectus. They're attaching in the back and they're wrapping to the front, and then they create kind of an X. There's your external obliques and then there's your internal obliques, and they both create basically an X. So they run on the diagonal and they assist in rotation. They also assist in depression of the ribs and in narrowing of the hip bones together. What do you think of like the flat stomach? But that's just on a superficial level. We're looking for function generally, and with function comes form. Very good. And then on the very deepest layer are the transverse abdominals, and that is your corset. Think of it really as a corset, as it connects from your spine all the way around to the front, and it can shrink literally your abdomen in, and it hugs and holds your organs in place. So those are our 3 different abdominal components we're working with. And now let's see if we can find them in action. So the first thing is, you could argue that the transverse is a involuntary contraction. So that means you really can't contract it. So it's kind of that emergency. So if somebody would punch you in the stomach and you just tighten it up automatically to protect your organs, that could be the involuntary contraction. Or you're falling and your nervous system, your brain is stabilizing you as much as possible to not damage something, to protect you, for good or worse. We'll argue that on a different note. But what you can do is just kind of sitting and breathing, or take a nice breath in, and then you're going to pull your stomach in. That's really it. You're going to breathe in, let the abdomen expand, and then exhale, pull the stomach in. Now you're going to have a little bit of oblique action in there too, but on the very, very, very basic level, this is abdominal engagement. All right, so moving on to engagement number 2, which is your obliques. So we're going to go ahead and lie on your back. I got to get a pillow. Ooh, ooh, ooh. So let's go ahead and lie on your back. And I always have a pillow here. This is very important for positioning of the head. And if your head is not in the right place, you will not feel what we're going to do, and the exercises just won't be as beneficial or beneficial at all, and might even produce more pain for you than help you. So making sure, I have a blanket here. You can do this with a towel, anything that will help you elevate your head, and not, it should not be a yoga block. So make sure it is something that's kind of soft-ish. And so how do we measure? So we're going to extend the legs on the floor, And well, you could first take the blanket away and just kind of see where is everything. So what we're looking for in our posture, and this is where everybody is coming saying, have bad posture, I want to work on my posture, it doesn't feel good, it's painful. So here, posture will come very apparent because you're lying on a flat surface and your body has to contend with the earth. So as you're lying on your back, feel your pelvis heavy on the mat or on the earth, and then feel or notice where your ribs are. Now, if your ribs are lifting up and you have a lot of space between your rib cage and the mat, that is what we commonly would call hyperextension of the spine. And that is not a great place to work in, because if your spine is too extended, you will have a very hard time to contract your abdominals or actually just even feel your abdominals, because they are overstretched in this position. They are too long, they're too far away, the muscles are too long and the bones are too far away from another to actually work properly. And then you will overuse other things if you cannot access this. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a little pillow. And so you're going to be your judge, obviously, to feel how much pillow do I need, right, to have at least for now a comfortable position where you can feel your ribs touching the earth. And literally also the lowest ribs, where your kidneys are, you can feel that in the back. It's kind of hard, and that's underneath is a protective mechanism for your kidneys. So that's why your lowest ribs are. It's not your lower back, not where your belly button is. You don't want to push that into the ground. You just want to have that hanging free, but your low ribs are coming down. So this is a little too high for me. I don't really need that much, but let's start here today. So once you've found that position, creating a little bit of a buffer for the head, because also if the head was not supported and you bring your ribs down, your chin might look like this, and this is not going to feel very good on your neck, and it's not really that good for your neck because it mimics our desk posture. We don't want more of that, I'm assuming. Okay, so you're going to lie on your back, and now once you found your position for your head, you're going to bend your knees. And now you actually should feel even a little more ability to connect your ribs to the floor. So we're going to find first a little bit of pelvis. We're going to move the pelvis into what we call the 12 o'clock. It's also called the tuck or posterior tilt. You can see how my lumbar spine is on the mat and my pelvis is tilted towards my face. And then we're going to tilt the pelvis away. That's called anterior tilt or 6 o'clock or stick your butt out or untuck. And then you're going to go back to 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock. I'm going to inhale and then exhale. And you can already feel as you go to your 12, there is a little bit abdominal contraction. This is your rectus helping you flex the pelvis. Inhale and exhale, moving your hip. And this should feel really good, actually. It's kind of a little massage on your lower back. One more time. And then you're going to come to your 6 o'clock. So 6 o'clock is putting the pelvis and the spine, in this case, a little bit into extension. But now this is your first exercise, and it's one of the most important ones. Can you keep your pelvis in the 6 o'clock and bring your ribs down? And then you should feel abdominal work. This is partially your external obliques working, and you're going to just hold this. And then usually people say at first, well, I can't do that. When I take my ribs down, my pelvis flexes. So that is going to be your exercise. So we're going to go into 6 o'clock, and then you're going to drop your kidneys and your diaphragm down and feel how the corset abdominals come on and your obliques come on too. So you should feel tone. It's not going to be crazy work. It might feel like crazy work, but it's just kind of a little hug that you give yourself here. And then let it release. And you're going to find 6 o'clock and then heavy kidneys and hold that and breathe. So this is going to be the most important ability in your future Pilates career, because if you cannot stabilize your rib cage with your pelvis, everything else will not be Pilates. Sorry to say that. But it is a very easy thing. You can do this anywhere. Just lay on the floor, support your head, and do this. Okay, so with this being said, let's work a little bit internal obliques. You're going to find your 6 o'clock and your heavy kidneys, and then you're going to breathe in. Maybe put your hands on your belly, feel the abdomen expand, and then on your exhale, think of your hip bones coming closer together. Inhale and exhale. Hip bones coming closer together. Nothing is moving. You're only imagining. Inhale and exhale. Can you feel that? One more time. Inhale and exhale. Hip bones coming closer, kidneys, diaphragm, bra strap are really heavy on the mat, and your pelvis is in 6 o'clock. This is what you need for plank, for side plank, for many, many, many things. And this could be your ideal sitting position, standing upright position, where your body has the most support from the front and does not have to rely on muscles in the back contracting constantly, producing pain, discomfort, and really like bad posture. Okay, so let's add a little bit on. This is going to be a little hip flexion, but it's going to challenge your abdominals. All right, here we go. You find your 6 o'clock and you're going to find your heavy kidneys and diaphragm. Take a nice deep breath in. Maybe your hands are by your side. You're pulling your hip bones together and you're going to lift your right foot off the floor. And it's a very small lift. We call this hip flexion. We're dropping the thigh bone into the socket and feel how much you want to actually lift your ribs up off the floor. Try not to let that happen. Lower the right foot down. Slowly keep your ribs heavy on the earth. Inhale. Exhale, lifting your second leg up. Keep your kidneys and diaphragm heavy. Notice how hard that is. And then lower slowly your leg down. And can you feel the lowering down is actually the harder thing? And this is the eccentric contraction, the lengthening of the muscles, which is what is going to give you a stronger muscle. It's better for your tendon and it's better for your bones. So we always want to lower slowly, right? We're lifting slowly and we're definitely lowering slowly. Inhale, exhale, lifting the right leg up and lower down, slowly keeping everything heavy on the earth. Inhale, second leg, exhale, slowly lift, fold it into the socket, and slowly lower down. So you always want to keep your breath going, try not to hold your breath. So let's add a little bit on for you to feel it a little bit more. Inhale, exhale, lift the right leg up, folding the leg. Can you relax your shoulders? Notice if they want to have come up here or shrugging up to your ears. And then lift your second leg. Can you keep your kidneys, sits bones, and diaphragm heavy? And that should have changed the game, right? So breathing here, try to get the diaphragm down, bra strap down. All of my ribs are touching the earth. If this produces a lot of lift in your chin, you have to lift your towel higher. And then lower one foot and lower the other foot. Inhale, exhale, lifting left leg. and lifting right leg. Breathing here. And holding it. So your job is it to keep your 6 o'clock and your kidneys and diaphragm heavy. And this is the first rule, the first wave of strengthening your body. Let's do this one more time. Inhale, 6 o'clock, heavy kidneys and diaphragm, lifting the left leg up and lifting the right leg up. Let's add one little bit. Lift your shins to be parallel to the floor, flex your feet, and then pretend there's a wall underneath your feet and you're going to push the wall away. Hold it there, keep your ribs really heavy, and push the wall away. So this is what we call an isometric contraction. You're not moving, but you are expelling energy. You are working your muscles. And isometrics are always really, really amazing. You can't really mess it up, right? You're just holding something, you're breathing, and you're working on longevity here. And then lower one foot slowly and lower the other foot slowly. All right, let's do this one more time. We're adding one little bit. Inhale, exhale, lifting one leg up, fold it into the socket. Don't worry about the shin just yet. Let this first be really heavy. We need this drop to happen deep in the socket. Lift the left leg up as well. Now you can go into your tabletop legs. This means a 90-degree angle and a 90-degree angle. Heavy diaphragm. Keep this down. And then put your hands onto your thigh bones. And you're going to push your hands into your thigh bones and your thigh bones into your hands. And keep your heavy diaphragm and keep your breath. And feel this. Can you feel there's a little shake happening? Keep dropping your kidneys, heavy, heavy kidneys. Breathing. You can hold this as long as you can keep good shape with your heavy diaphragm and your breath going. But you can also hold this as little as possible, as little as you need to, and then lower down. Okay, so these were my 3 little tips to find your abdominals on a beginner level. Now, this is amazing for any level of abilities. I think it would challenge an advanced person as well. So give it a shot and let me know how you felt and what you're thinking about your abdominals now. Thanks for joining.